All right, looks like I'm live. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Jason. I'm a Course in Miracles student and a channeler. And today I just wanted to come on for a really quick channeling. I just wanted to share some information and talk a little bit about the Course in Miracles and something that I just talked with my guides about music, something about music. Sorry. So here we go. So I just wanted to share. I'm in the Course in Miracles, the text, chapter 25. It's called "The Justice of God," and it's like I guess, yeah, part 7, "The Rock of Salvation." And the reason I wanted to share this is because the past few nights, like I'll read this before I go to bed, and I keep getting stuck on this one little portion. And this happens a lot in the Course in Miracles, where you just can't get past this one part because it's just there's something about it that just you know it just can't wrap your mind around. And I think I finally kind of gotten close to it. So I just wanted to share that. So here we go. So it's chapter 25, 7, the Rock of Salvation. And then this is number 5, 6, and 7 if you're looking at the book. So here we go. Um, the Holy Spirit has the power to change the whole foundation of the world you see to something else, a basis not insane, on which a sane perception can be based, another world perceived, and one in which nothing is contradicted that would lead the Son of God to sanity and joy. Nothing attests to death and cruelty, to separation and to differences, for here is everything perceived as one, and no one loses that each one may gain. Test everything that you believe against this one requirement, and understand that everything that meets this one demand is worthy of your faith, but nothing else. What is not love is sin, and either one perceives the other as insane and meaningless. Love is the basis for a world perceived as wholly mad to sinners who believe theirs is the way to sanity. But sin is equally insane within the sight of love, whose gentle eyes would look beyond the madness and rest peacefully on truth. Each sees a world immutable as each defines the changeless and eternal truth of what you are. And each reflects a view of what the Father and the Son must be to make that viewpoint meaningful and sane. And then this is coming up to that's the um, preface, I guess, to the part that I kept getting stuck on. So here it is. Your special function is the special form in which the fact that God is not insane appears most sensible and meaningful to you. The content is the same. The form is suited to your special needs and to the special time and place in which you think you find yourself, and where you can be free of place and time, and all that you believe must limit you. The Son of God cannot be bound by time, nor place, nor anything God did not will. Yet, if his will is seen as madness, then the form of sanity which makes it most acceptable to those who are insane requires special choice. Nor can this choice be made by the insane, whose problem is their choices are not free and made with reason in the light of sense. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. That portion there, and the really interesting thing about that for me was that, well, first of all, when they're talking about the sane, will see, so the insane will see you as insane. I really thought that was a wonderful idea. That and I found that too with the Course in Miracles is once you start doing the Course in Miracles and you start changing the way you think and changing the way you go about your life, the decisions that you make might seem quite insane to people who are not who are still quite attached to this matrix, and they might just think like, "What are you thinking? Why are you doing that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" And you think, "No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I got this handled." But they just think, "This guy's crazy. He's nuts." um, so I thought that part, and then this idea of the special function, right? So the idea is that the Holy Spirit will. So the Course in Miracles kind of philosophy theory is that in order for us to have a direct experience of Source, of God, we have a translator, and that translator is the Holy Spirit. And in every, for example, in Buddhism, it might be something different, and in other religions, it might be something different, but it's the same thing. It's just words. It's just word play. We're only playing with words here. This is not about religion. This is just about the concept of experiencing who we truly are, experiencing Source. and we experience source. But first, in order to experience source, we need to kind of like wean ourselves off of this world that we see of death and of judgment and of sin and of anger and pain, and you die and there's nothing and all these kind of things, right? Where the Holy Spirit just translates those ideas to a world of forgiveness, where everything is beautiful, everything is forgiven, everything happens for a reason, for a very, very good reason. And once you're able to see that, once you're able to forgive everything, that forgiveness translates the fear or the darkness into light, which is love. And then once it translates that into that, you kind of you see with what they call Christ eyes, which, or you could call them Buddha eyes, or whatever you want to call them, source eyes. But you're able to see things from a different perspective, and that's the perspective forgiveness. And once you're able to do that, then you kind of take a step back and you think, oh, this is what up there's like. That's what heaven is like. And then once you understand that, then you can take that next step into a direct experience of God, of source, of who you are. But there's kind of like steps that you take in between. And I thought this was interesting, this special function. So wherever you are in this illusion, it's special. It's everyone's in a different situation. So it's gonna look different for everyone. Anyway, so I wanted to share that. Another thing I wanted to share was that today in my channeling, I was let me preface this. When I was 14, I was practicing piano, and I wanted to be a professional pianist when I was in high school. That was my thing. So I'd never do any homework, and I'd come home and I just practice for hours and hours and hours. And I fell asleep on the piano bench one day, and I had a dream that I was writing music in the style of Bach. And I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to become a composer. That's it. So I've always viewed that as something from my guides. But recently I thought, well, what if it wasn't from my guides? What if it was something else? And so I talked to my guides about it, and they said that it was something else, but that something else was being guided by my guides, which is interesting. Um, Dark serves the light. Um, so, so the reason that they decided on music, on composing, is because at that era, so I grew up in the 80s, and a lot of my friends, that was the time of heavy medication for well, that was the time when all kinds of, yeah, medication for emotional issues was a big thing then, and a lot of my friends were on all kinds of medication for emotional issues, for chemical imbalances, right, at that time, and that was very, very, very big at that time. I remember it was kinda scary 'cause really I always had to be really careful about what I say because I'm quite a weirdo, I think. I have a I like to tell, yeah. Yeah, I'm into different things, I guess, and so I had to be careful about who I said what to because people might think that, "Oh, this guy needs to be medicated or something," so I had to be very guarded, and, so that's why my guides brought me to music, and what they explained to me is that music is often used, throughout the different realms, um, as a way to teach spirituality without being noticed by the controllers. So if you're in a very, very controlled society, just like I was when I was a teenager in the 80s, where being spiritual at that time was a dangerous thing. You could be put into a mental institution, you could be put on drugs, you could have all these different things happen to you. So what they decided on was music. So I would do composing, which, coming from a rural country kid, I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a composer, but at the time. But anyway, so I did that, and what they said was that was my training. So I had been training spiritually through writing music all this time, and experiencing, trying how to open up my heart, and also how to be doing something that in a sense is kind of quite insane. Why would you, spend your life writing music? Why don't you get do something real with your life, kind of thing, which was, pretty much my whole life. So, and that also prepared me for channeling too, because it's the same thing as channeling now, you know. Um, But the concept was that music is a spiritual practice, basically, and it takes you out of time because music exists in time, and it can slow down and can speed up time, and it teaches you that you can escape this time, and that you are more than just yeah, you're more than just a body. And so, what I like to do is just channel really quick about that and see what they say. So here we go. Greetings. We are ISIS and we're here, and we have been guiding this being for quite a long time. And this is one of the things that we would like to share with all of you. Yes, the power of music, the power of music. The music is spirituality. There is no really getting around it. It is just basic spirituality. So when you are performing music, you are connecting with your source. You are enabling yourself to connect with source. And there is something that is going on now within a lot of the music industries where they're trying to take out that source energy from the music. And this we find to be a very amusing, we might say, thing that is happening on your planet at the time. Amusing in the sense that it is impossible for the source to be taken out of you. You are pure source. You are all created with source. And it is amusing that they believe that it is possible to take this out, that they can create something that is completely the opposite of source, whereas on your planet there is always both sides equally balanced on this third dimension, and it is impossible to change that in any way. No matter how hard anyone tries one way or the other, there is just a perfect balance, and that is the balance of your third dimension. And what music does is it reaches beyond this third dimension. It reaches into higher dimensions and pulls down those feelings and those ideas to this dimension. It is a form of channeling. And no matter how you perform the music, no matter how you do it, you are connecting. And so we would suggest for you, for all of you who are not ready yet to connect spiritually, we would suggest trying music, trying art, trying something creative, because that will open up your heart and that will open up your heart to channeling. And while you are creating, when you are creating, you will receive all kinds of inspiration. And those inspirations are coming from source. They're coming from God. And they're there for you to help you. And so this is what we would suggest. We are ISIS, and we thank you very much for being here with us in this time. Okay. All right. So that's all I wanted to share. Oh, hey, Lisa. Yeah, it's been a long time. Good to see you. Yeah. So, um, right. Well, that's all I wanted to share today, or tonight, or tomorrow, whenever it is for you guys. Anyway, so ciao.